Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend, whose relationship ended in October, has filed legal complaints against him, or we can say that the most recent separation involving Tiger Woods is currently involved in a number of court challenges. Herman, the ex-girlfriend of the professional golfer, has accused him of locking her out of the Florida home they once shared and is now suing him for more than $30 million in damages for the alleged incident. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more news like this before we continue. Let's proceed. New court filings in the Martin County, Florida, reveal that Woods' ex-girlfriend Herman is seeking a judgment on the scope of the non-disclosure agreement, which she deems unenforceable. Herman said that the split was precipitous and is fighting for the right to demand damages for the remaining 5 years of a purported oral tenancy agreement. This claim was made in a different document. The NDA, which was provided to the court in relation to a related matter in a form that was predominantly obscured by black marks, is at the heart of the arguments. According to the court documents, the non-disclosure agreement, which was reportedly signed on August 9, 2017, states that any and all disputes, claims, or controversies arising between us of any kind or nature whatsoever shall be resolved by the mandatory binding confidential arbitration to the greatest extent permitted by law. However, Herman is requesting a court ruling so that she can gain a clearer understanding of whether or not the NDA is enforceable, as well as the obligations that pertain to her relationship with Woods, which may include the obligations of those around her. In the complaint filed by Herman, the plaintiff asserts that she does not know if she may disclose, among other things, facts that give rise to her numerous legal rights. She is also uncertain as to which additional parts of her personal life she may divulge and to whom at this time. Herman mentioned that Speak Out Act, which became law in December 2022, and makes it illegal to sign a non-disclosure agreement prior to a dispute involving sexual assault and sexual harassment in violation of federal, tribal, or state law. Herman asserts that this, in his complaint, Herman has not directly accused Woods of sexual misconduct. However, according to the civil cover sheet submitted by her attorney, Benjamin Hodes, the case does involve sexual misconduct allegations. The Woods representative did not immediately respond to the request for comment. Tiger Woods of the United States prepared to present the trophy to the John Ram of Spain as he sinks the winning putt to win the Genesis Invitational on February 19, 2023 at Riviera Golf Club in Pacific Palisades, California. The occurrence occurred on the same day. Tiger Woods will not compete in the Players' Championship. His next tournament will likely be the Masters. Herman's ability to continue living at the Woods property has been the principal focus of the Woods and the Herman's continual legal dispute since the end of their partnership several months ago. According to the court documents, Woods cut ties with the other individual on October 13, 2022. Herman filed a complaint against the Jupiter Island Irrevocable Homestead Trust that Woods created in February 2017 and through which he owns his primary property in Hobe Sound 13 days later. The 14th day after the initial complaint was filed, Herman filed his own. The complaint alleges that Herman had an oral tenancy agreement with the Woods for approximately 5 years, during which he remained at Woods' property for a total of 6 years. Herman's lawsuit alleges that the oral tenancy agreement granted the plaintiff the right to reside in the residence for a specified period of time, and that the duties performed by and expected of her were extensive and of an extraordinary nature in light of the overall circumstances and environment in which he resided. Woods started arbitration proceedings against Herman in reaction to the charges, according to the records. According to the documents presented by the trust in December, Woods' arbitration motion states that there is no oral tenancy agreement authorizes Ms. Herman to live in the residence. Herman asserts that agents of the trust induced her to pack a suitcase for a brief trip, and when she arrived at the airport, they informed her that she had been locked out of her home in violation of the oral tenancy agreement and Florida law. Herman accusations are founded on the fact that trust agents persuaded her to pack a suitcase for a brief vacation. Herman also alleges that agents of the trusts attempted to rationalize their illegal conduct by paying for a hotel room and certain expenses for a short period of time, according to the lawsuit's allegations. The complaint alleges that more than $40,000 in cash and personal property belonging to Herman were stolen from his apartment. Herman is suing the property owner for monetary damages because the stated agreement implies that he no longer has the right to inhabit the rental unit as a tenant. According to the allegations in the complaint, the home has a reasonable rental value that's expected to exceed $30 million. Herman's attorneys have filed a petition to dismiss the trust's case, stating that the trust is not a juridical person capable of suing or being sued, and that the complaint is merely allegations emanating directly from the conflicts between Ms. Herman and Mr. Woods. The attorneys for the trust have contested Herman's claim and requested that it be dismissed. In actuality, the legal team representing the trust directs any possible litigation towards the arbitration stipulated in the NDA. On January 19, Herman's legal counsel filed an opposition in which they cited the Ending Forced Arbitration of Sexual Assault and Sexual Harassment Act of 2021 as a reason for a court to evaluate the enforceability of the non-disclosure agreement. According to a recent court document, Tiger Woods alleges he went above and beyond to put Erica Herman up in a luxury resort and gave funds she might use to obtain a new residence after their breakup last year. Shortly after the couple broke up in October, Herman filed a lawsuit against the trust that owns the home they shared. She says in court records that she was evicted without notice for breaching an oral agreement requiring her to live rent-free at the residence. According to Woods, she was merely a guest, thus he owes her nothing. According to a court filing filed by the Woods attorneys on Wednesday, only the golfer and his 2 children have the legal right to reside in the residence. Woods is attempting to join the legal lawsuit brought by the Herman against the trust. He asserts that she launched a lawsuit against the trust, which owns title to a portion of his Jupiter Island, Florida residence, in order to circumvent an arbitration clause in a non-disclosure agreement. His attorneys filed a motion to intervene on Wednesday, arguing that she should be identified as a defendant in the case. According to the counsel for Woods, the issues raised by Ms. Herman in her lawsuit against the trust are in fact conflicts between Ms. Herman and Mr. Woods. When Insider reached out to Woods and Herman's agents on Friday for comment, they did not answer immediately. Herman filed a complaint against the Jupiter Island Irrevocable Homestead Trust for $30 million in damages shortly after Woods ditched her in October. However, the action was not made public until this week. According to Herman, who served as the manager of the Woods restaurant in Jupiter, Florida, she was evicted from the Woods home by trickery. Herman stated that when she left the home where she lived with Woods for previous 6 years, she was told she had been locked out and forced to pack her bags for a brief trip. According to Herman, by covering a hotel room and other short-term expenses, the defendants attempted to justify their unlawful activities. In the case, she asserts that the trust's eviction of her violated an oral agreement granting her the right to live rent-free at the property in exchange for valuable services. Herman does not specify what these precious services entail, but she states that she fulfilled her end of the agreement. According to the case, in light of the plaintiff's living conditions and environment, the tasks she was obliged to fulfill and the expectations placed upon her were extensive and of an exceptional nature. Herman alleges that she still had 5 years remaining on her lease when she was evicted. In a separate lawsuit she filed on Monday, Herman asked the court to dissolve her NDA with Woods. Herman argues that the Federal Speak Out Act, which renders such contracts invalid in circumstances of sexual harassment and sexual assault, renders the NDA unenforceable. But Herman's lawsuit makes no specific allegations of wrongdoing explicit. Share your thoughts on the topic in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more news. Thank you for watching.